What's up, guys? Lou, John, AT, Caucasian Sensation. What's going on? We're going to wait for some folks to hop on in here. I got the link if anybody wants to hop up. Holy cow, that just like confolded. Disabled Outcast, Margaret, Tac 2, Patrick, JF, JAFO, Dr. Broden, Jason Davis, Charles Murray, Hebrew Hammer in the house. Rich Spillman says, say my name. Wayne Walker, I'm doing good, buddy. Brooke Cameron, good evening, good evening. Hey, you. He's got the LG wing busting. Ross Bryant, Prairie, Terry, Ray, Reasonable Watch, Bill Bede, Tim Casebolt. Rich Spillman says, sit. Yes, sir. I'm sitting, buddy. The Who, Idaho. Welcome, Idaho. Hopefully I said that right. The Who. Christopher Davis, Robin Lawson. Tonight's subject, we're going to go over some updates and some of my cases. And just basically shoot the crap. Indiana Observer, Pig Trader, John D in the house. Any update on that dude from East Ohio? Actually, Patrick, I put my email in his comment section. He did email me back, so we'll talk a little bit about him while we wait for some other people to come in. I got the StreamYard link down there if anybody wants to hop up. Anybody's welcome. Friend, foe, it don't matter. Does it matter to you? Yes, it does. Thank you. Good to see you. Kent, Alaska's coming in. Nice. Hopefully, you're going to get your month or two of summer here soon. I know it's not a lot up there, depending on where you're living. I had some buddies up in Ketchikan and some other spots up there. Frank, plus my boy 907, he's up there somewhere, getting the winter love. Christine, whatever. All right, so, for those of you that saw my video earlier today, if you haven't seen it, you have to check it out. It's just incredibly crazy, insane the way the deputy acted. SOS, what's up? Bipolar. No, we are not, Bip. I mean, we're open for anything. This is an open panel. Sam 2, guys. Sam 2 is a good buddy of mine. I did a story on him. He's out of Dothan, Alabama. Great guy. Great guy. So yeah, we're going to go through a couple of my cases. But before I begin, guys, if you haven't seen the video from earlier today, Deputy was insane, out of control. Even before I posted that video, I went ahead and made the call to the sheriff's department to lodge a complaint against him. Now, he is a deputy, and I guess their municipal building in that town has courthouse as well as city hall. The courthouse, I guess, is on a higher floor. And some of the deputies that work there do not have to work in their uniform, right? So they can work in civilian clothes or whatever, which is what that guy looked like he was wearing. Tony, good to see you from South Australia. So I did lodge a complaint with him. I told him, I said, look, you're probably going to be getting a good amount of phone calls because, I'm fixing to post this. And I could tell that people are not going to like this behavior. I mean, it was just disgusting behavior. He almost pushed that guy down the stairs, man. I was afraid for that guy's life, as aggressive as that deputy was. So as far as the update goes, the hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that. I had to talk with my daughter. So the story I'm getting from the gentleman, East Ohio Audits. I don't know if he's in here tonight or not. I haven't seen him in here yet. Melissa, good to see you. Almost missed you there for a minute. Good to see you. Danny's Thoughts, too. Welcome. Frank Pants, of course. He emailed me today. He said that, first he wanted to thank me for sharing his video, which, of course, I try to get every new auditor out there because we need as many as possible. Ohio is definitely a spot that's lacking in auditors. So anybody, that makes video up there and is halfway, coherent, I'll post their stuff and try to get people to, keep track of them because we need help everywhere. But he says that he's legally blind, right? So he's not blind all the way, but he's legally blind. So I'm guessing, along the lines of blind justice, he can see shadows, but he can't really make out anything. So he had some crappy camera work there. So he said he's working on it, whatever. But he said that when they took him to jail, they ended up. Putting the charge on him as assault on an LEO, right? Because at the end of it, you heard them, they were kind of scuffling. He said they went to the floor. He said he got his face rubbed off on the concrete, which I'm sure everybody knows that's one of their standard operating procedures, is to like grind your face into the floor. Um, so he said that they dropped the disorderly conduct charge, which, I mean, is good news because obviously that never would have flown. Um, but he said that they tried to make it seem like he went there specifically to attack that deputy or a deputy there. So really strange. He does have court next week. I'm going to try to keep in touch with him. Maybe I'll try to get him on and we'll do a live and we'll see. Thanks, Bip. And see if there's some way that we can, get more of the story once the court progresses. Um, I'm going to help him out as much as I can. It's just disgusting behavior from those guys. So I'll be sending him, case law and stuff to help him as far as his case goes. Just legal information, not legal advice, of course. Thanks, Ion Margate. Another great guy there, Ion Margate. He's the one that's helping expose the police chief and those guys down there. So yeah, that's about it, I think, on his update. And again, this just happened. So there's not going to be a lot of updates. There's not going to be, a lot of court date information or anything like that. That's just happened not long ago, a couple days ago, I'm guessing. Uh, a week, 2 weeks at the most. So, yeah, just bear with us on that. But we will keep in contact with them, and as more comes out, we'll let you guys know. Same thing with that Miami circus guy. I posted a video about the citation hearing, and I posted about that guy before. He's down in Miami. He's running for the mayor of Miami. He seems very transparent. If I was down in Miami, he'd probably get my vote, even though I've never voted in my life, because I just don't believe in condoning bad behavior. And it's always bad behavior, no matter who you vote for. That, you know what I mean? There's always something that comes out. So I don't like to condone bad behavior, so I try to stay away from the voting booth. But um, he seems like a guy, if you did vote, that would be worthy of your vote. Well, of course, they all say what they want you to hear. But this guy's actually putting in work, sort of like James McClennis in there in Pinellas County, who's running for sheriff. That guy puts in work as far as auditing and keeping them accountable. So when I see guys out there keeping them accountable and then they run for office, I tend to give them a little more leeway as far as what I'll believe that they're going to do. And then when they get in office, they could show me or not, and then we can go from there. But anybody that's going to be in a public position, you're in my scope, right? You're in all these guys' scopes, because that's who we're keeping accountable, is the government. Doesn't matter if you're a secretary, doesn't matter if you're the mayor, doesn't matter, you know what I mean? Like, you're working for the government, you're getting tax dollars, you're getting paid tax dollars. You need to hold yourself to a certain level. It's just the way it is, right? If the gosh dang hostess at Golden Corral has to have a smile on her face, then the clerk of courts or the city clerk should have the same expression on her face when citizens walk in, right? So, yeah, Jay killing it in Florida. If you guys haven't seen that training on the street cop conference, and dude, that is so out of control. That training. Now, what's even more crazy is they're holding another conference down here. Somebody tipped me off in the video, said, hey, they're holding a conference down there at the end of the month in Orlando. So now I know I'm not going to be able to get into the conference because I have no law enforcement credentials. I've already looked at tickets and, I didn't try to purchase one because I don't have that kind of money. It's $700 per ticket. I mean, they're really raking it over the coals for the public taxpayer dollars, because that's what's happening is, when I did my credit card audit, you guys would see that these guys go to seminars and they go to training and they do all this stuff all year long. I mean, every month there's thousands and thousands of dollars in seminars here and workshops here, and you know what I mean? And we're paying these guys to fly there. We're paying for their memberships. We're paying for the hotel and the food. And, these guys are going there and they're getting all this education so they can then come back and charge us more money. Well, I learned 5 things this week, so now you got to pay me another $200 a month. You know what I mean? And they're using our money to do this. Like, I understand we have to pay for stuff, like for the municipalities, like you need paper clips. Yeah, you need paper. Sure, you need ink. You need pens. You need this stuff. You don't need a $500 a year membership to the circuit clerk of the court's National Association of Hairbrushes. You know what I mean? Like, and if you do, that kind of stuff should be paid for by you, right? If you have to be involved in these organizations, which I don't think it's mandatory that you have to be involved in these organizations to have your position. But if for some reason you have to be in these memberships to hold your position, chief of police or whatever it may be, fire chief men or whatever, whatever, then yes, maybe that would be possible. But I mean, as you guys saw with the Dalton mayor, I mean, she's taken 5 and 6, of her security bodyguard off-duty cops to Vegas, and they're spending $800 at Ruth Chris's, you know what I mean? Like, and where's the benefit to us, right? So, yeah, it just definitely, something that I can't get behind, this training, the seminar training. But I looked $700 for the ticket. I tried to, sign up and go as far as I could, but they ask you, what agency you're with, and it's got the little asterisk right there, meaning that you won't pass to get to pay for the ticket until you tell them what agency you work for. So it's definitely law enforcement only as far as buying tickets to go in. Now, it's at the Gaylord Palms Resort, so you don't need a ticket to get in the Gaylord Palms. So I might go and show up one day, kind of undercover, and see if I could, see some stuff, see what I can hear, and maybe try to get some information, through the back door. I'm sure they go out drinking and stuff like that when they're in town. So I wouldn't be nothing to go to the bar, Project Veritas style, and see if I can get some information there. What's up, Liberty Troll? We got the link right here for you, but if you want to pop on up, I know I haven't seen you on any panels. If you want to jump on, Hebrew Hamel, everybody's welcome, guys. Don't feel like you're not welcome to come up here and share your opinion. If you want to come up here and share your opinion. And you don't have to be on camera, like I'm not on camera right now. I'll pop my camera on so you can see it's a bad camera. And, it's blurry and stuff. I don't have my good camera hooked up, so I haven't been on it. So I just got me in my Marilyn Monroe cop outfit. Sci-Fi Bri, the video guy, always a pleasure. Six Oaks. Take 2 of Pre with you. Yeah, right. We'll take 2 of Pre with me and do a bar Project Veritas style, investigation. That'd be pretty awesome. All right, so nobody's coming up. I'll go ahead and get started on my updates as far as my cases go. We do have a motion for a new trial in Georgia. That's at the end of this month. That's going to be April 23rd, I believe. It's either April 23rd or April 28th. I'm pretty sure it's the 23rd, though. And me and Rights Chris V are going to be going to that. Chris Bell, what's up, buddy? So now, me and the lawyer figured that they will deny our motion for a new trial in Georgia. This is for the felony. This is what I'm on probation for. Now in Georgia, before you can appeal your conviction, you have to motion for a new trial, and it has to be denied, and then you can appeal. So a long process, as you can guess, right? So if they deny it, we can then file for an appeal, and that could take another year and a half to work through that, right? So at the end of December, I might be able to get off probation early at the halfway mark. I'm not sure if they're going to allow that or not. If they do, I have to come up with the money for all the fines, which is about $5,000. So, which YouTube hasn't been cutting it lately. This is my worst month on YouTube in 5 years. It's crazy how I'm being shadow banned and my videos aren't getting any views hardly. But I hope to get back out there on the street. Um, I will be putting my PayPal and my GoFundMe or my Cash App in all my videos because I'll need money to get back out on the street. Um, but if people want me to go back out, I'm more than willing to go back out. I need some funds to get back out there. Um, so with that said, that's the Georgia case. Um, Now, as most of you know, they did take my camera. They've held it for almost 3 years now. My lawyer told me a couple of months ago that they finally released it. They released it to him. I told him I would pick it up next time I come up there for court. So on April 23rd, I should be coming back to Florida with my camera that I literally only had for 3 months before they confiscated it from me. It's an incredible camera. I paid like $1,500 for it. It's a really nice camera, and they confiscated it from me. Kept it, for 3 years now that I haven't been able to use it, and that is what it is. So hopefully I'll be coming back with that, and I'll have 2 rigs ready to go. My Social Security case is coming up. I've got a status conference here in April, I believe, at the end of April. And then we have trials set for May 16th on that. So, and I'm not really going to get into discussing any of our defensive plans as far as that goes. I did have a lawyer. He left. He moved back to Arizona. So I had to get another lawyer, and he had to get, up to speed. Our trial was supposed to be April 3rd, but because of the new lawyer, I now have to get him up to speed on what it is that I want and what it is that's needed for the case. So he asked for a continuance, which was favorable to Foshin, because you guys know Foshin is my co-defendant. This is a public service. Another great guy. If you haven't subscribed or seen his work, please check him out. But yeah, we'll be going to trial May 16th on that. So I'm expecting a win out of it. I've been putting in a lot of research. Once the case is done, I'll bring all that research forth so that everybody can have it and see and, kind of be able to get a handle on if they can record in their local Social Security office or not. So, yeah, 606 accountability. It's also not just the lawyer. Hey James, I've been here, buddy. I've been posting other people's videos because I'm on probation, and here, let me give you an example. Right, this is because it's frustrating to me. I'm shadow banned, but I went out a week or two ago. I did some videos. I came home. I edited them. I upload them. 2,000 views. Right. I play somebody else's video to showcase them. They get 20,000 views. Right. So it's like, why am I going out to get 2,000 views and risk going to jail and having my family homeless and all this other crap when they're not getting the views because I've been either shadow banned or people are just not watching because I'm playing other people's videos and not my own videos. So even though I'm not out there, I still need support to keep the channel running, so That kind of is what it is. Nothing you could do about that. But um, yeah, so once Social Security case is over with, I'll put up all the information for everybody. We've done a lot of research into the law, and we've got the leases for the buildings, and we've got all the manuals for the GSA, and how they assign space in buildings, and there's just a lot of stuff that's been going into it. A lot of case law, because what the state is saying, or excuse me, the state, I always say the state, but it's really the U.S. government. What they're saying is, in our last hearing, is that they're going to, one, they're going to try to prove that we were an tenant agency. And if they fail at that, then they're going to go to number two, which is to try to prove that we're not journalists. Okay? And if they fail at that, they said they're going to go to three and rely upon the fact that they have a sign that says no recording. Liberty Troll, there's going to be a street cop training seminar down there at Gaylord Palms, April 28th through May 3rd. So if you saw the cop training video I put on my page like yesterday, those same scumbags are going to be training cops down here in Orlando April 28th. So it's definitely something that we'll want to get by. Some of us will want to get by at least a day or two and see what we can see there. I don't have a GoFundMe link, Melissa, right now. I got everybody. I'm going to put my email, which is also my PayPal, and then I'll put my my Cash App. For anybody that wants to help out, because yeah, I could definitely use some money to get back out on the road, guys. It's hard enough with YouTube shadow banning me and taking care of the family and everything to have any money left over to put in the gas to go anywhere to video anything, So, like I said, it is what it is. I do with what I got. So those are those two cases. Those are the criminal cases. Now with the lawsuits, there's four of them. We have the two lawsuits in Dothan. One is against the Sheriff Donald Valenza. And we have a scheduling order in that case. And I think I have it right here. Okay. So any motions are due by August 20th, like motion to dismiss or summary judgment motions, anything like that. We're supposed to have a settlement conference on or before August 6th. Amendments to pleadings by April 2nd by me, and April 30th by defendant. Discovery cutoff is July 23rd, and this is all this year. So, which is good because this case has been going on for 2 years now. The same thing with the other Dothan case. So we got the scheduling order. We got to get all this stuff done, discovery, motions, all that stuff. And it doesn't set a trial date here. So I'm guessing that I see August here. I see July. I'm guessing maybe late this year we'll get a trial date set. And that's in the sheriff, and that, when you look for that, that'll be under Metz v. Dodson, Dodson, Dodson. If you want to Google that and check that out yourself. And then I have the other one against Bridges and Dodson, and that's Metz v. Bridges. These are all out of Alabama Middle District. And in that one, so they appealed the verdict. Okay, so wasn't a verdict, excuse me. There was a motion to dismiss that they filed based on qualified immunity. And I submitted a reply, and they lost their motion to dismiss on qualified immunity. So they then appealed it up to the 11th Circuit Court, and we've been waiting about 5 months. Now they filed a brief. I wasn't able to file my brief in time. Now, granted, it was my first ever appeal, so I'm learning this stuff as I go. I wasn't able to file mine in time, so I figured, hey, Farlap, thank you, sir. I see that. That's awesome. I love you, brother. Um, I figured, hey, I'll just let what's on the record stand as my argument, because it's a good argument. I'll just let that stand and let them make the decision, based off that. Well, I just got an email the other day that said that the circuit court is going to be appointing me a lawyer for my appeal, because I guess they like and this is just speculation, but I guess they like the argument and they want to see it, fought out. And they probably surmised that I need the lawyer to help write the brief and to help get that stuff in. So that's in the works now as well. Again, that case is 2 years old. My two South Carolina cases, I'm still waiting, literally months and months now. I'm still waiting for them to even serve the defendants, right? Because I filed informer pauperis or indigent in those cases. I didn't pay the filing fees. I had to fill out the form, to make sure I couldn't pay the filing fees. And I sent all that stuff in, and they looked it over. And the first case, the one against Easley, I mean, they fought tooth and nail to try to dismiss that. Just the judge, again, because not even the judge, the magistrate judge. He was like, no, you don't have standing and this and that. So I kept having to write a more concise complaint and response to them, because they wanted to know dang near the whole case, before they allow it, I guess, to go to the defendant. So it's a little bit different than when you pay the filing fee. You write in your complaint, yeah, Joe smacked me, and pay $400, and bam, it's filed, and you could serve the defendants. But I guess when you serve informer pauperis, they want to make sure that it's not a frivolous action, whatever. So they're allowed to do a lot more, and you have to answer a lot more questions and be a lot more forthcoming, I guess, with the evidence and your standing and such like that. So I think we last got something on that in October of last year. So it's been a couple of months now, and we're still waiting. I'm still waiting to hear from them. And the same thing goes for the Barnville case, where the deputy chief got every law wrong. I filed a suit on him, which, of course, you guys probably already know. I always try to keep you guys up to date. Rich, prior to discovery, what do you mean? What's prior to discovery? I'm sorry, I haven't been keeping track of chat, guys. What do you mean prior to discovery? Thanks, Pepper Brooks. That's awesome. Well, Rich, I haven't got an answer to you, but yeah, Rich, and it's not to the prosecution, right? It's to the judge. It's to the magistrate judge. So um, when I filed informer pauperis, I submit my complaint and I submit my paperwork that says, hey, I can't pay these fees. Well, I sent that to the magistrate judge. He looked it over and he's like, no, you got to fill out the longer form of this. So I filled that out, and then he was like, no, you don't have standing because you're a Florida resident. So I had to amend my complaint. And then, that came back, and then the magistrate, wrote a recommendation to the judge. He's like, we should just dismiss this case. He doesn't have standing, blah, blah, blah. So then I had to write a response, telling them, yes, I was in Easley video recording. The reason they made this ordinance was specifically because of me and my buddy Skip, Upstate SC News, you know, for officer safety, as well as another channel of his. This is the reason why they did this ordinance. I said I have standing, right? Once they remove that, um, once they remove that ordinance, I'll be back up there, you know, covering stories specifically about the mayor. Although he got kicked out, he got voted out, and there's a new mayor in there, thank God. But I've never met her, so I don't know if she's, you know, a good mayor or not. But I know the last mayor was just a piece of shit, and was using, you know, tax funds to do all kinds of stuff, and, you know, using a vehicle that he wasn't, you know, privy to, with you know, lights and sirens or whatever on it that he wasn't allowed to have. So oh, Pig's daughter's here. Hey, Pig's daughter. Brandon Mitchell, I haven't seen you guys. Sorry. Angel, what's up? Good to see you. Um, so yeah, definitely more to it when you file indigent than when you just, you know, pay the filing fee and be done with it. But you know, for years now, I've went online and said, hey guys, you know, if you want to help me file it, I figured, you know, hey, let's just go ahead and try this indigently, and if they file it, then, you know, I've got a list of lawsuits that I can file. Um, so I'm fixing to file another one in Mississippi for when Harry met Lloyd, Dumb and Dumbest, when they became cops. You guys remember them, those damn hillbillies out there in Rankin County, same county that the Goon Squad is located out of. So, hey Don, yeah, anybody's allowed up. Farlap's allowed up. Everybody's allowed up, even if you just want to say hey or call me an idiot or whatever you want to do. I don't make no, you know, friend or foe, doesn't matter. Ed for action. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, I found this little thumbnail. I was like, dude, this is so true, especially down here. I mean, look at my picture, my avatar, and then think the Goon Squad in Mississippi, and that's exactly what it was. Oh, okay. And Parlap again, buddy. Thanks again. I know I said once thank you for the memberships, but thank you again for the memberships, and of course Pepper Brooks also with the memberships, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Don's been with me, guys, since day one. This guy right here, Don Shaw. Don't let him fool you. He's been here with me since day one, commenting, sharing. You know, most of you have. Um, some of you are newer to my channel, but a lot of people are old timers. That's right, Six Oaks. Here's my buddy.
How you
Yeah,
doing?
good man. Good to see you, Farlap. Always a pleasure, sir. We don't get enough time together.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
just drove about 500 miles.
Oh man, you back home now, or?
Yeah, home now. Yeah, I had to go and see my mum. I hadn't seen her in about 5 months.
Okay, yeah. Always got to pay mom a visit. I'm due for one with my mom as well.
Yeah, it was good to see her, even if it was only for half a dozen hours. But yeah, well worth the trip.
Yeah, hey, every little bit is what counts. You know, I just told my girls the other day. I said, you know, no one's gonna remember you for the house you have, or the car you drive, or the couch you know, you have in your house. I said people are gonna remember you for the memories that you shared. So,
Definitely.
you know, I told my girls, I said, you know, when it comes to spending money, I'm gonna spend money making memories more so than I am gonna be spending it on spinning rims and 80-inch TVs. So that's just the way I roll. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you only got one family, eh?
that's it, man. That's it. And you know, like I said, it's at the end of your life, people don't sit there at your funeral and go, "Man, I loved his couch." You know, you know.
Hey, give me a check. Hang on.
Yeah.
I got given a box of stuff. Or actually, got given 3 boxes of shit by my father while I was there, and one happened to be a brand new modem. And another one was a dashboard thing to stick my phone in, so I can now drive and record. Um, but I got a whole box of photos, and I saw one. I happened to go through them when I got home, and I'll just share one. Hang on, if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. That one. I don't know if you can see it or not.
Hold on, I'll make you full screen here if I can. Yep. All right, there we go. Okay, yeah, we see it. What is that? You getting ready for parachuting?
That's the one, mate. Skydiving.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's with my auntie that has now sadly passed. But yeah, she had nobody to go with, so they were visiting from Canada. So I put my hand up and said, "Oh, I'll go jump with you."
Absolutely. Yeah,
Never done it before.
no, my sister did her first parachute jump at 60 years old. So
She was 60.
yeah, that was my sister. She did it. Now I told my sister, I said, you're mad. I said, the plane better be on fire before I go jumping out of that damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, and even then, I'm still kind of like scooting off the edge with my butt. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't jumping.
I was ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh man. We got the Examiner reporter asking, can a mayor or chairman ban public speaking? Well, there's actually a book that goes along with legislative bodies. It's called Robert's Rules of Order. And that pretty much lays out the law as far as like legislative bodies are concerned, like when they can make motions, how they have to make motions, such like that. Now, I don't know if that it's like a law that they have to have public speaking. Um, so I don't know if they could, just cut that out altogether. But I do know that if they do allow public speaking, they have to abide by the law, like the First Amendment, the right to use curse words or.
if
Uh,
they set a meeting up though and say that and it's a private meeting, that's when they can ban everything, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's a private meeting that's not held out to the public, it's the same thing as recording, which, people try to make this harder than what it really is, and it's not hard, right? And that is wherever the public can go, where there's no expectation of privacy, you can record. That's it. That's all
Yeah.
you have to. That's all you have to remember, right? You can do it secretly in most places, unless there's a law. Check your local laws, your wiretapping, oral intercept laws, if you can do it secretly or not as well. But for the most part, that's a general rule of thumb that I follow. If the public's allowed to be there, I'm allowed to be there, and I'm allowed to record. Now in Florida, I can record secretly, as long as there's no expectation of privacy. So, a lot of times people say, well, why don't you go record in the public bathroom? Well, there's a expectation of privacy in the
Yeah.
public bathroom. So it's really easy to
There's
I
some
guess you could
fucking
say
doodle
play
heads
by
out
the
there.
rules. Right.
Fuck man.
And sometimes they'll leave little traps for you, right? They'll leave the gate open on a fenced in area that's off limits, or supposed to be off limits, to try to get you to be like, oh, the back door's open, I'll just walk right in. So I try to leave all those areas alone.
It is
Uh,
wise.
yeah, the same thing with like sticking in a building for or 2 hours. I tell people, if you go into a building, you walk around, and they ain't said nothing to you in 4 and 5 minutes, you're probably good. You could move on to the next one. Thank you, SWE Observer. Um, yeah, you could,
Yeah.
move to the next building. There's nothing to be gained by making somebody
Angry.
um, Right, right, yeah,
confrontational.
right. Staring at him for 45 minutes like you're some kind of perv or some kind of like serial killer. There's nothing to be gained from that. What we're supposed to be out there looking for is people that abuse their authority. And these kinds of people, like you saw in the video this morning with that deputy, when they abuse their authority, they do it right off the bat, right?
Oh yeah.
Same thing with the ladies in the office. Oh, I don't think he could do that. It was right off the bat, right? There was no, oh, hey, how are you doing? Oh, it's a beautiful day. What about those New York Yankees? And having a 10-minute conversation, and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, now I'm a Karen. You know what I mean? Like they're Karen right off the bat. So if I walk around a building once or twice, nobody says anything, everybody's cordial. I say, okay, I'm out of here. I don't need to stay here any longer. Obviously, these people are. Oh, we got Danny's thoughts in the back coming on up.
Hey, Danny.
Yeah, I figured I better jump off like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's welcome here. I mean, got nothing special going on tonight. We, just going over some of the lawsuits and stuff like that. And
Yep,
it
I've
was
been listening to you. I think I got on about the time you got started, so I
well,
think I'm
good,
all caught up. But
good.
as far as what you're talking about, as far as recording in meetings, as you know, in the area that I do the city council meetings over here that we've talked about before, that you know of that area, I just walked in and started videoing and didn't have any problem at all, and have kind of become a monthly thing that this is when I'm meeting up with my friends at the town council meeting. And, just really haven't had any problem at all. I've talked to the fire department about coming and videoing in the fire department and EMS and the library and the post office. And, I just haven't gotten anything done. But
Yeah, I
sometimes
mean,
it's about having relationships, and other times it's about, what do you want to accomplish out of this?
right, right. Do you want to be adversarial and have everybody against you? We're supposed to be converting people, right? That's part of our job, is supposed to be converting people to want to keep track of their government. We're not out there. We're not supposed to be turning people against us by being adversarial or um, you know just unreasonable. And I get it. Everybody can get there. If you've been out there all day on the street and you run across 20 idiots, um, I don't know how other people audit. I only know how I audit, and how when people go out auditing with me, how they audit, because they're obviously out with me. But I go out early in the morning and I stay gone all day. Sometimes I'll skip lunch so I can get hangry at the end there, and if I've been to 10 or 15 spots and I ran across 15 or 18 idiots, then it can get taxing, right? And at the end of the day, you can, start to feel that. Um, but yeah, we're definitely, we should be, stepping up our game, looking at our game, um, because the world's watching now.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching, and especially the government's watching to see which way it's going to break, right? Are these guys going to be just a bunch of troublemakers that are just hollering and screaming and trespassing or trying to trespass, and of course they know they got, in some instances they know that they can't do nothing about it. In other instances they're stupid and they think they can do something about it. But um, we need that line to be distinct, so that way people that are sitting on the fence, people that um, don't have that information about what the First Amendment is, and what the right to free press and what it's really for. They're having a hard time understanding, why we do what we do, right? Because a lot of people see it just as harassment, just straight up. Well, you got a camera and you go out there and you harass people. Well, there are some people that do that, sure. Just like there are some people that practice their free speech by hanging out at soldiers' funerals with "God hates," FAGs signs all over the place. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there are some people that abuse their rights, or use their rights incorrectly, I guess you should say, according to what the mass of people would like to have uh, people use their rights like. Um, so, and we got to be on the other side of that, right? Because especially people like me that are taking stuff to court. Now, there's a lot of auditors out there. I don't have to tell you guys. There's a lot of auditors out there. Every video, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to sue you. You just started yourself a lawsuit, buddy." You know what I mean? And you check their lawsuit; they haven't had filed a lawsuit in 2 years. But for guys like me, Audinary County, James Madison, Brights Crispy, some of the other guys out there that are filing suits as well. Um, they look at this kind of stuff and they say, well, you're an asshole guy, and sometimes that's enough to sway a judge to bias a judge or bias a jury against us. So,
Well, look what happened to Chile.
Right.
Right, right, right.
I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
a perfect example of somebody who, you know, preached the one way, and then when it actually come to bite him, it, granted, his attorney sucked, but when it come to bite him, he just couldn't keep it together, and he shouldn't be in jail. Just like we've got Hendry in jail, we've got Four Corners in jail, we got JC News in jail, we got the list goes on and on.
Yeah,
Right now,
Plex,
all
Plex,
violation
Plex.
rights.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Plex
Plex
is
should
in jail.
bring. Yeah, so there's a lot of guys in jail, and
A big
that
part of it, in watching it all, is that the guys don't seem to be able to articulate once they get to the court. They know what they're supposed to do. They know what the law is. They practice it every day when they're going out and auditing, but they're not being able to articulate it once they get to the court scene. And that's where it's fallen into. But I guess you talk about different auditors too. Have you checked out Impact News?
high impact news, isn't that Brian's old channel?
No, this is a guy and his sons that were out in California. They're starting to do a trip back this way now, but they go out in the gator mask. You know what I'm talking about? Where they pull them up and it's got like the face on them and all that stuff. And their whole thing is that they're trying to show people by being masked up that they are creating their own privacy in public, and they are allowed to video in public. So they'll go and maybe stand at a Starbucks, or they'll do a town, walk through a town and
Do you
stop at
know
different
what?
restaurants or different things.
I'll tell you what, I've been thinking about doing it in public buildings with these ridiculous facial recognition software they start putting in. If they want to put that in, then they got to prove that it won't matter if I cover my face when I come in that building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
a
would
lot of
be a good thing to get to.
yeah, a lot
You
of
know,
buildings are doing that, and they're also doing the sign in ID thing, which and I don't know if Liberty Troll's still in here, but and I don't know how many people in chat realize that I have a MERS that I wear on some of my audits with a fake wallet in there with a fake ID. It's McLovin. It's the McLovin ID. So I told Liberty Troll, I said, listen, if they want you to ID, dude, just bring in the McLovin ID. You know what I mean? There's no law that says it has to be your ID, right? So you can
I've got
sign
one.
in as
I've got one from Missouri that's Alien, and I can fly spaceships, and I've got all sorts of different things I can do. And the expiration date's like, you're 60 some odd thousand or something like that.
yeah.
Danny,
Just
do you
fun
know
stuff.
Danny, do you know what the icon is for Impact News?
Yeah, Impact News. It's II M Peace. I'm trying to
PCT.
Yeah, PCT. He leaves out a letter in it.
Okay, I'll see if I can
Yeah,
find it.
if a mod could find that for us and throw that link up for Impact News, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I just want to say that I heard you guys talk about filing lawsuits when a few minutes ago. I just want to let you all know I filed another one last week.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
What
man.
was this one on?
I filed one last week on the town of East Aurora, or the village of East Aurora, because one officer put his hand on me. I filed an official complaint, and they wrote in the official findings that he never laid a hand on me. He never grabbed me. And it was
I think I've seen
unfounded.
that video, and he did grab you.
Yeah, I mean, like it's plain as day. Like I don't know if they're wearing their blinders, but they didn't want to hold themselves accountable, so I'm going to hold them accountable. The only way I have, choice left. I mean, next best thing I can do is write to the attorney general, and she ain't going to be hearing about some guy grabbed my arm. She's got much more bigger problems than the policing, to pay attention to that. But I'm gonna have to hold them accountable for it. Is all I ask for is a little transparency, and accountability.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie.
Well, I
That's
don't
it.
run into what a lot of you guys run into, because what I do is, trying to create more relationships with the people as I'm doing things, instead of it being such a shock, or like with you guys, they know you out in the areas that you're in. And so you get a little persona put upon you on that, to where I'm going kind of a little bit different with it, where I'm trying to create a reputation of I'm out to highlight the towns and the cities around me, the smaller areas. And,
That's
without
what
trying
that's what I
to
do
get it.
too. But sometimes you got to pen them over your knee when they don't do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, well, Rogue knows I had an issue when I first started out doing the town council meetings with the lady at the post office, and I tried to comfort that over. Now she's retired, so now I've got to deal with the new postmaster. So that's just one little town, but I've got to get out and get doing what I need to do. But weather is an issue with me, being able to breathe and things like that. And, for me to do a walk through a town is an effort because
Piggy
of
bank.
everything. Yep. So all that's, crazy with what I've got going on physically. I feel like a North Carolina tyrant hunter, he's got all of his issues about having to walk. Well, I've got issues breathing. But yeah, that, it's tough when I start watching these guys that are getting taken into jail and their court hearings and stuff, and seeing what's going on in the court hearings of what these judges are doing to these guys.
Pretty fucked up, huh?
That's just all of them.
Yeah, just like the video I played this morning. It's disgusting. It's depressing to see this kind of behavior going on. And like I think it was Danny that was saying, it might have been Farlap. It was a while ago. I can't remember it, but a lot of the stumbling block is when these guys get to court, right?
Oh, big
Because
time.
it's hard for them to express what they know, or what they've seen in the videos. Like I'll give you a perfect example: Riot Girl Radio, and she said she watched videos for like 6 weeks, and then she hopped on into auditing, and she got, I don't know, like 4 or 5 arrests like right off the bat, because she didn't understand. She heard us saying these words in the video, but she didn't understand what they meant. She didn't understand what any of the laws meant. And
Pennsylvania is one tough mother
it
police
is.
state. That is a police state stronghold. Let me tell you, I've been there. I've been cuffed there. There is no accountability, and any auditors in PA got extra, respect for me, because that system over there is not, it's rigged for the police over there, boy.
Heather and I reached out to Riot Girl Radio when she first appeared to ask her if she wanted a hand and some help. And she replied, she said, yes. So we sent her an email, but she never, ever replied. Next minute, she was locked up.
Yeah.
And she posted, or at least I saw it through the troll grapevine that she posted saying, "Oh, auditing ruined my life," and this or that. And I was like, it wasn't auditing; it was the fact that you thought that you could jump into something that you hardly knew about,
Yep.
and charge head on into it. And you got to be able to articulate these things. Some of these guys, before they jump into the auditing game, they watch the videos for a year or two. They pick up some law books and they study. I know myself, that was my progression into it. I was already reading law for like 4 or 5 years before I jumped into it, and I was watching videos for like 2 years. I had watched Jeff Gray's whole library before I picked up a camera, and that was, he's at like 600 or 700 videos now, but he's had like 400 videos or something, because he doesn't do very many, one a day, one every other couple of days. But so, I mean, you have to understand these concepts. And when you go to court, even if you have a lawyer, you still need to tell that lawyer what the deal is, right? Because I can tell you, I've had a couple different ones in the last couple of months, and they don't know crap. My last federal public defender, he told me, which I'm glad he moved, and I'm glad I got another lawyer, because me and him were not seeing eye to eye, right? But listen to what he told me. He told me that I was lucky that nobody had sued me for using their likeness in my video. Yeah. No, he was serious. I mean,
you got jokes tonight, huh?
Yeah, we were almost coming to blows over this. He was so passionate about it, right? And
well, that's because they've been indoctrinated into this mindset. And our laws are written by attorneys for attorneys to prosecute and defend as attorneys.
Well, right. And I told him, I said, listen, I I encourage someone to sue me for using their likeness in a video. And, for some reason, this guy he wouldn't get it, And listen, I know you've been to law school, Mr. Public Defender. I know you've, done some trials and stuff like that. And, but when it comes to this little aspect of the law, this isn't a huge aspect of the law. I'm not claiming to be a constitutional law scholar or anything of that nature, but I'm talking about one little sliver of law, which is the right to free press, something that I have lived and studied and slept with every day for the last 5 years. Is it possible at all that I might know what I'm talking about? I mean, is it a possibility anywhere? No, you're lucky you didn't get sued for using her likeness. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
That's when you look at him and say, what laws would they use to sue me? And then you make him go study it. When he can't find that law, then maybe he might figure out that his statement was just stupid.
Guys, you should know it's in the 14th Amendment copyright laws for your face. That's what I was told in the public building.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've read the 14th.
It's in the autonomy section. Rogue, if you were looking, it's definitely in the autonomy section of the 14th Amendment.
I think I got to read between the lines. Maybe I need one of those little Captain Cookie decoder rings out of the cereal box to see it. It's like National Treasure, where you got to light a crack pipe underneath the paper to see it or something. I don't know.
That's been the trouble with the Constitution, is they put all these amendments tied in, at the backside of it to ruin the front side.
Right. And, there's a lot of clauses in there.
Yeah. It's just like going in and doing these town halls and city council meetings. They doing that stuff with these mayors and things. Here in Indiana, we just had a bill that went through. And it started out as a House Bill 1338. And I don't know if anybody heard about it. It got passed through, but what it is to set up the rules of decorum for city council meetings and give the police the right to arrest you on the mayor or councilman's word that they want you arrested. And you can't do anything to the police for doing so.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and it's a bill that went through the House, and it was kind of slid through on the last part of it. The first part was basically the mayor of Winchester, Indiana, got with the House. What are they? They're not senators. They're congressmen. And
are you talking about state law? Then it would be like the
yeah,
state
state law.
legislature.
State
Right.
legislature going through the House, and it was J.D. Prescott that put the bill through. And basically, it was, I can't handle myself, so I've got to get a bully up here to do it. That's the mayor's thought. I can't do things right, so I have to get a bully to push these people to do what I want them to do because I'm not doing it right. And, there was Winchester got dragged into a bunch of stuff, and too bad the auditor is now in jail for unrelated charges. And he has nothing to do with auditing. It has to do with some personal stuff of himself. But he was doing good work, and he was actually, had to raise his voice. He had to, start carrying a gun to the meeting, and all sorts of stuff. And where these city council members and stuff are going out and filing for protective orders against these auditors. And when I started thinking about that, if I went and they wanted to put a protective order against me, when I went to court on that, I'd go, Judge, right off the bat, you have to decline this protective order. These people are voted in, and they have a duty to the citizens. When they walk out away from here, that's fine. But if they're in office and they're doing anything in an office, they're doing a duty to the public, and they're getting paid by the public. Their likeness and everything they have to do within that office has to deal with the public. And you cannot put a protective order on me without it being discrimination. And that's how it has to be looked at. It's to putting discrimination on an individual, not to do what everybody else can do.
Right. And not with discrimination, but another aspect of the whole city thing is BIP Solar Bear. Thank you for the $4.99. Said that they're auditioning deck plans in the city, and they claim copyright law applied. 90% of plans they approve don't meet code. It's all about the money. So I wanted to bring this up because I had done a story a while back. Some folks in Kansas, Faith was her name. And I don't know if you guys remember the story, but her son was a little mentally off. He ended up driving the car into a lake, and the cops tried to charge him with killing or attempted murder of his mother. It was just a whole messed up to do thing, But, one of the things that she had talked to me about that I never got around to being able to get a story out about it was her son had owned some property. And in the city where her son had owned some property, they had adopted this international code of building inspections or code compliance or something like this. But it was this international code. And instead of being like fined for this, whatever the code violation was, like you were actually taken to court. Like you could actually go to jail because your grass was too long, I guess, or his issue was the color of paint that he used on his house, or he used on his house. You know what I mean? So it was it wasn't the UCC, Jay. abate. The UCC applies federally, as it's a federal guideline, and every state has their own UCC code. And a lot of times the state will just adopt the federal UCC code, but in a lot of other cases they will, make little changes to them as well themselves. But it didn't have nothing to do with the universe UCC. Um, but yeah, it was binding on the citizens, and they did have to go to court for these code compliance violations when you would think it would be, a non-criminal fine or whatever. Um, which, even still, I mean, you guys have seen some of the stories we've done where there was that one case where the gentleman had over $100,000 in code compliance fines and fees and late fees and interest, and you know what I mean. So I mean, these things can add up quick. That gentleman that we've been doing the 88 stuff with out in the land, his stuff's up to like $50,000. They're hitting him with like 150 to $250 a day on his fence, and then like 50 to $100 a day on his trailer. It's literally parked in his driveway in front of his garage, right? And whenever I go over to the gentleman's house, and I pick him up, we ride around or whatever, do some audits or do this or do that. Every time I'm driving out of his neighborhood, I see at least 10 of his neighbors, and I'm not lying, dude. At least 10 of his neighbors with RVs parked beside their house that comes out, or boats or trailers themselves. And I asked him, I said, have you asked about, not snitch, but have you asked about these other people that if they've been cited? Because you can look up and see by the property address if there's been citations given to the people that own these homes. And he says, man, none of these people have been given citations. He says, it's just me. So
Well, then that falls back on discrimination and bullying. That's one
right.
thing I wanted to get with you about. What laws do we have out here on bullying? I know they've gotten into the schooling, about bullying, but what is it about bullying that is an actual law now? I know there's got to be something.
Ain't nothing in New York.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bullying law here in Florida either.
I mean, harassment, same thing, I suppose, but not by
Yeah,
the name of bullying.
yeah, those have to be a series of events, and I don't think there would be. And let's be honest, even if there was a bullying law, to actually have the government press that against the government is would be, to me, in my opinion, nonsensical, right? Like, they're never going to do that, right? They're never going to set a precedent that says, having code compliance come by too many times is bullying and harassment. I got a lady up in Walton County, and I think in 4 years, code compliance has been by her place like 250 times because she's running a business that's in direct competition with one of the county commissioner's business, and she's winning, right? Like, people are choosing her establishment over his, and he's been sending code compliance by for years now.
Yeah. Well, and then that would get into, you know, on something like that. If there's two exact kind of businesses, and one's getting more attention than the other, then that gets into discrimination, and you have to prove it and then go and sue for it. Why are you not prove that the other place doesn't have the code compliance coming by as many times as what you do, but you got the same business? Yeah.
Bip's absolutely right. Catherine Henry is dealing with this. Mrs. Henry is co-counsel to Foshin on our Social Security case, so
yeah,
I get to see her and we get to talk every time we go to court. So it's nice because she's a wealth of information. She is an actual constitutional lawyer. She's got the actual credentials, and she's fought many a good fight, I guess you could say, up in Michigan, and she recently moved down to Florida. And when I say recently, I'm guessing about a year, maybe a little bit more. Um, but she's been fighting her local government in over there on the coast since she moved here about like some pavers, right? Like some pavers that aren't even illegal. Like they will pick something so minute to try to get you out for a number of reasons. Maybe they want the property for themselves. Maybe their buddy's a developer and he wants to put in some condos. Um, there's all kinds of reasons why people do what they do. Most of
Yeah.
them obviously are motivated by money. So, um, that's why auditors need to be more than just pick up a camera, go out to City Hall, and have somebody yell at them, right? Auditors need to, pull the records. We need to do the dragnet stakeouts of the mayor and see if he's like slipping away late night with the clerk of the court. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Which there's case.
I got some of those coming.
Right. So
I got some two good stakeout stories, boys.
yeah, we got to put the pressure on
Coming.
as far as if these people are doing something, getting them out there. Like now, we're all of the same mind. If there's government, there's corruption, right? There's going to be something going on there somewhere. Doesn't have to be everybody in the local government, right? Doesn't have to be the mayor and the vice mayor and the commission, and it could be the lawn guy, right? It could be the Parks and Recs guy, right? And what was it? In Alabama, I can't remember the name of the city. I was even arrested there. It was a crappy little town right outside Mobile. But the water department lady there, she was busted for like $400,000 worth of misspending on public funds. Did you guys? I don't know if you guys saw that, but they did. There's a news story, right? They got the news camera
Yep.
guy out there, and they're literally pulling out boxes and boxes of designer shoes, and Jordans and Nikes, and literally boxes stacked as tall as Mr. Erie County. And there's, just these people are just spending money like okay, I can understand. Okay, you had to take a little bit of money from the public because your mom was dying or something, and you needed medicine, or you actually you had holes in your shoes. You're walking, the shoes are flopping, and you needed one pair of Nikes. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm cool with that. I'll even give you money myself for that kind of stuff. But you're stealing money just to buy shoes that you never wear, or you wear like one time and then put back in the box, right? Like, because you're a collector, right? Now, so you gotta buy these pair of Jordans, wear them one time and then put them in the box for 20 years. Like, dude, it doesn't make any sense. That's like when New Orleans was happening, those people that were stealing the TVs, right? I'm thinking to myself, why are you guys stealing the TVs? There's no electricity. A hurricane just came through. What are you going to plug that into, right? There's 4 feet of water in your living room. Why are you stealing a big screen TV, right?
And how many TVs can you turn on at the same time?
Right. Why ain't you at the jewelry store or the bank? You know what I mean? Here you are at Walmart stealing an 80-inch TV that you can't even plug in. Like, that's how stupid these people are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, look at what Henry dealt with down there in Clinton, Indiana. The mayor there selling off properties for $1 after they buy them from the city, buys them or acquires them, and then pays out, $10,000 to have a house destroyed or whatever, and then sells the property for $1
to his mates.
Yeah, I mean, it just don't make sense. I mean, here I am trying to keep my property together, and I can't take and destroy something and then sell it for less and think I'm doing something right.
No, we had a sweetheart deal like that in a town I used to live in down here in Florida, where the mayor, the city had bought a piece of property and then ended up selling it to one of the mayor's buddy for like 100,000 less than what they paid for it. So yeah, there's all those kinds of sweetheart deals. How you doing, Wanda? Good to see you.
I've been thrown out of the Erie County records room twice. Once hands-on, like tossed out of there. Come to find out, about 3 weeks ago, one of the clerks stole $216,000. No wonder they don't want me in there
Did
with a
you catch
camera.
her? Did you catch her?
I didn't catch it. The comptroller caught it or something like that. She was under. I think maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a story on it because I think that's important to show.
Yeah,
Down there
because that
where in Florida, you got What the Hell's is dealing with Otter Creek down there, and all the mess down there, and they finally got it cleaned up. And then what happens? The state makes a law to where anybody that's running for office has to put in a full disclosure of everything you own over $1,000. So a lot of the
yeah.
honest people are not going to do it because there's none of your business. You know,
Well, a lot of dishonest people too. I mean, people would flock out of there. I mean, listen, if I'm running for public office, I automatically know that my financials are up for display as well. They should be, right? Like, there shouldn't be these politicians that come in, um, and they have, let's say, a net worth of, let's say, I don't know, $100,000, right? And then 2 years later, when they leave office, their net worth's $27 million, right? And no one's like, oh, I don't know where they got all this money from. So there's got to be, and there always has been, especially in Florida, a financial record. Now they've taken it down to the $1,000 mark, which it wasn't before. That's the only thing new, is that they're going as far down damn near as almost you can. They're almost counting your pocket change, but um, I think it's important, for transparency, and I think if you're going to accept a position like this, then you should be transparent about it.
well, there is some transparency in it, but what's happening is the guys that are, honest and trying to get these small little towns, small little villages, or whatever they are, all down in Florida, that aren't even paying enough for you to even have an accountant to go and figure up everything you need. And if they make a mistake, it's a $26,000 fine for every mistake. And these people aren't even making that much in these offices, so it doesn't
Yeah,
even make it worthwhile to them.
I mean, I'd have to look into that. I didn't hear anything about a $26,000 fine for, and it depends on what kind of mistake you're talking about, right? Like,
No, just any mistake. If you didn't list something, then that's a mistake. It doesn't matter the
okay,
volume of it.
okay, so I see what you're saying. So if they're trying to hide something, possibly by saying they made a mistake, it would be a fine.
Well, even if they didn't, they just mistakenly didn't put it on there, because when you're going into that much stuff, just inside my living room, we paid $10,000 for furniture in my living room. So
Well,
I would
right.
have to go through each piece to figure out. And I got books. How much do I have in books? How much do I have in, all these little things that you
Yeah,
wouldn't think about having to list.
yeah. Are you sure that they're included? I mean, I know they're talking about assets, but I was thinking more along the lines of like bank accounts, 401ks, cryptocurrency, silver and gold. I don't think I don't think they care about your, 1968 Sean Connery collection of socks that he wore, and Pussy Galore, Octopussy. That's
Yeah.
$20,000. Maybe something of a collection like that. But I mean, when you're talking about just bits and pieces, I mean,
But,
I I,
but
I can't,
I guess by the way it's worded, that it makes it to where, like the town of Otter Creek, because I've been paying attention to that. The mayor was there. She just, like, once the year came up, she resigned. But you got still the dishonest guy who was, stealing from the town, stealing, from everybody, doing things that were not honest, and, sexual favors and all sorts of stuff. He's still there. You
Well, I
know,
mean, he won't be there for long if he's dishonest and stealing, right? Because he's going to have to account for
he,
that money.
he, he was there for years, and until Jeremy Hills became a part of that community, nobody did anything because they couldn't afford to.
Well, right, but what I'm saying is, now moving forward, if he is there and he's stealing, and his bank account went from $80,000 to $120,000, and he doesn't put that on his I think it's a WB form.
W6 or something like that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
W6. You're right. Some kind of form. If he doesn't put that on his form, then he's going to be exposed. So I mean, I hear what you're saying about a lot of honest people, but I mean, again, if they're honest, they'll have no problem filling out these forms. To where if they're dishonest, there's obviously going to be an issue filling out these forms, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's just common sense.
Well, I know in Indiana we've got one you have to fill out, and basically it says that you got to list all the different organizations that you're a part of, and disclose all that. You have to list whether or not you're part of any uh, oh what do you want to call it, partnerships and all that stuff. Whether you're behind the scenes partner or you're an active partner in it, and all this kind of stuff, and uh,
Well, right, because they don't want you awarding the contract to a company that you sit on the board of anonymously, right? So
right. And
yeah,
even
yeah,
though it's
stuff like that.
happening, I listen to Christopher Bilbrey. He does a podcast thing, and he's on YouTube now. But it's called the Political Spotlight. And in Delaware County, they have brought up a lot of this stuff with what's going on over there, and some property changes, and with the elections, and what really brought a lot of light to me on our elections is how these election boards are doing what they're doing to stop people from running for office, and it's corruption, whether it be legal or not. There's corruption that's out there, and it runs from the smallest to the largest.
Well, right, and chances are it's not legal, right? Um, which is why they don't like to expose it, and why we have such a tough time every time that we go out to video record. Because even though they know we're not going to catch them in the act of doing something like that, they also realize that y- these
Now the
people have
spotlight's on.
these people have treated people that work beneath them bad. You know, maybe not all of them, but a good majority of them have treated people below them bad, be it citizens or even be it employees that work for them, and they realize that they've gotten away with it because there's nowhere for these employees to go because all complaints are coming through you, right? Because you're the boss, right?
Yeah.
No one can go above your head. You got to get your complaints to me, and then if they're quote worthy, then we'll do something from there. So these
Well, that's what
employees
Leroy Truman is running into out there where he's at, with that one mayor out there who knows he's got an employee at the parks department who is sexually molesting the women workers out there, and he's not doing anything about it.
Yeah, about
well,
four of
right,
them
right,
now.
but yeah, yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like an employee that has dirt on the mayor, but can't go nowhere with that dirt for fear of losing their job, fear of being retaliated against, you know. And the mayor and these kinds of people knowing it, like the mayor of Easley, there were employees in Easley that had information on the mayor that couldn't do nothing with it, um, because they were outnumbered, right, on the commission board, and there's just nowhere to go with that information and not be retaliated against, and so they reached out to us, and that's what these guys are afraid of. They know we're not going to catch them with their hand in the cash register pulling out money and stuffing it in their pocket when we walk in. I mean, that would take, a miracle. I need to buy a lottery ticket right after that happened. I'd be be the luckiest day of my goddamn life, right, to catch something shit like that on video. So they know that we're not going to do that, but they realize that if people see us out there and they know that we report on this kind of information, and they know that we're not intimidated or going to back down, because first and foremost, we don't care. Second, I don't, lay my head at bed at night and easily. I don't have to worry about getting pulled over every day and being harassed by the Easley Police Department. But I can expose it to a wide audience. I mean, that's trouble to them. That's why we get huffed and puffed at it. It's not because they think that like I said, we're going to catch them in the moment, or it's even that they're uncomfortable being recorded. It's that they're uncomfortable at being possibly exposed,
Yo, you
right?
Yeah.
guys want to? I interrupt 1 second. And add something
Go ahead.
really funny today. Um, so my friend was at a shooting range, and he knows the owner, and that the owner was telling him, see those 5 guys over there in the shooting range, they're all state troopers. They're in there shooting together. And so he went in there, did his shooting, he did it with them, whatever. But when they came out of the range and they were all getting their stuff all done, he said he overheard the troopers say, yeah, you guys better not do nothing stupid. You'll end up on auditing Erie County on the internet forever. Literally, like, overheard the troopers saying that today. Like, and that's the goal, man. If they know, there's just that one more avenue that they're gonna look like an idiot if they get caught doing stupid shit, it's just
Well,
more deterrent that they ain't gonna do stupid shit. So that was
Well, I know you
good
guys
stuff.
have been out here for a lot longer than I have, and I've been paying more attention than what I've actually been doing any production. And what I've seen over the last, I don't know, year and a half is that these government agencies now have, their business that they're doing being brought out on social media, and it's being sent out all over the country, and it's like going to a truck stop. If you want to know what's going on in the country, to go talk to a bunch of truck drivers, because they're going to be from all over the country. And now it's getting out. I watch Dan of Erie County, and I see what's going on over there. And I watch Rogue Nation. I see what's going on in Florida. And I see all these things, and start watching. See what's going on in California. And here I am in the big state of Indiana, and we've got a few auditors around here doing some stuff, and they're getting to be known, and more power to them. And I'd be right there for them if I can be. But the thing is what is going on in these city council meetings, and it's being shown now. It's being highlighted to where they didn't have to worry about that before. I found out in just what I've been doing, and it's not on Danny's Thoughts, it's on Dano's Small Town Reports. And when I do the town council meeting, I go onto their Facebook page and I let everybody know, town council meetings tonight. And if you want to see it, then you can go to, and I put up the link for that meeting for the night on their Facebook pages. And there'll be comments on there. Well, they're doing this, they're doing that. Well, yeah, they've been doing this stuff for all along. And you folks don't know because you won't go to the meeting. There's many times me and the fire chiefs there, the road guy, but other commissioners are there, and the town councils, and that's it. That's the only ones there. There's not any citizens of the city or the town.
It's not very sexy, right? It's not action packed. You're not going to see the Terminator stand up and blow somebody's heads off. There's no 6-packer of beer there. That sort of thing. That's what you need to get people to the local town county meeting, is tell them there's going to be a slap fight between Eminem and Tom Brady, and there's going to be free old style beer, and you'll pack those meetings, man. You literally pack them. I want to give a moment to let John. He just popped on. He's got something to say, and welcome him to the panel and see what he's got going on. Love that avatar, by the way.
Thank you.
Just before that, I'm going to jump down, Rogue. Cheers.
Thank you, Farlap. Always a pleasure, my friend.
I'll be around somewhere.
I know it, brother.
Sweet as. Love yous later.
Hey.
Yeah, you kind of hit on something that struck a chord with me a long time ago when you were saying when you take these people to court, even if you lose, you're winning because they have to spend the money to fight the fight. Well, technically, if you take that advice one step further, you're actually paying yourself to fight the fight. So when you have skin in the game, you need to start using it and start going forward. We can't keep going back. And a lot of people are going, I'm going to sue, I'm going to sue. At this point, like Dan's saying, you have to. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I got a case right now that I'm dealing with in New Hampshire. I can't really talk too much about it because we're coming up to our date. But, when you go to various places and you make record requests and they're not fulfilling them, Massachusetts is probably one of the worst states ever with filling record requests. AFA gets his filled because he's AFA. They know who he is. If I go in and I make a request, I'm not getting the same respect that he gets. He's got 150,000 followers. Now, granted, he's a good friend of mine, but I don't toss his name out there. That's not my goal. My goal is to be able to go into these buildings, make a request, and have it filled.
I'm working on a website right now to put every police department's complaint form and full request forms for all that on my own website. And when you print that form out, it's going to have my logo on it, so they know they're not messing around.
There you go.
Because they're going to know where they got that form from. They're going to know they came off my website.
Hey, hang on for a second, folks. We got Mellows in the basement there. Mellows, I'm not sure who you are. Could you show yourself in the basement real quick before I bring you up? Make sure you're not a porn bomber. Okay, I see you. There you go, buddy. You can turn it back off. All right, we'll bring Mellows up.
It was just a quick one, man. Dan, I spoke to you a little while ago about an app you wanted. I'm not sure if you remember, for archiving the FOIs. You don't remember that?
Are you talking to Danny's thoughts or me?
No, sorry, mate. Erie County, man. Sorry, it's been a
remember
day.
talking about an app that did what?
I was speaking to you about an app that I was going to try and build for you that you wanted for archiving the FOIs, the Freedom of Information.
Archiving the FOIAs, yeah.
Yeah. I've actually been working on a piece of software with a friend of mine that might just do that with basically you photograph the document and it will translate it into a machine readable text.
Hey, Count B. Angel.
So you can archive it in a searchable database. So in other words, it's designed for creating like a paperless office. So you just take a picture and automatically upload to your server, and it will archive all the work, the entire document. And you can search it, use it, put it through a searchable database. Saves you having to scan everything. Just a quick take a picture, and it's just like scanning a document. Even if it's in a foreign language, it will translate it. So I thought that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I've got it set up on the server at the moment. I can give you guys access to it so you can test it and play around with it if it's something that you could help you.
Dan, won't you go ahead and put your email up or for him to email you so you guys can get contact?
My email is auditingeariecounty@gmail.
So yeah, get a hold of Dan there, and so you guys can work on that together and see if that'll help him out with what he's trying to do.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean that could help all of us really. So I mean,
that was my thinking.
Whoever you want to, if you want it tested by a couple of different people, I mean,
please,
you're more than welcome. Yeah,
Rogue wants a piece of that. It sounds like.
Oh yeah, definitely, dude. But if you want a couple people to test it, dude, I'm in a chat group with like 10 others: James Madison and Joe Cool and Big Nick and Wrights Crispy and everybody. So I could just pass it to those guys, and they can.
That would be brilliant. I mean, I spoke briefly to Erie County last time we on another panel with, and he gave me the idea. So I went away. Just basically search for all kinds of different, open source software that we could use or modify or customize to our, for what we need. And I think I have something set up and ready to go. I just need to test it and to see if it fits what you need.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I could scan all my court documents in or something like that, or take pictures of my court documents, and that'd test it out for sure. I got a big old stack over here
Right.
of just my personal court paperwork. So yeah, I mean, we could test that out for you. We'll just kick the tires and light the fires, won't we, Dan?
Hell yeah, we will.
I got my email in the back. I got. I mean, anything you need, you just website, whatever you need, and I'm here for you.
The great thing about that, Mellows, is that down here in Florida, I don't know Mr. Auditor County's public record laws, but down here in Florida, we're allowed to visually inspect and photograph copies or records immediately, right? Unless they need redacted, they're supposed to be ready immediately. So I mean that could be
handy.
Yeah, that could be like the new way for us down here to get records. Like we don't even have to request them anymore to be sent to us. I just say, show me here, show me now, and I'll take a picture, or redact it, and I'll come back in and I'll take a picture of it, and to cut out the costs and stuff like that. Now that works great with like paper stuff, but it probably wouldn't be so good with like video, like body cam and stuff. I wouldn't imagine.
No,
right?
I wouldn't imagine for that. But I mean, what is great about it is that we can actually set it up so it's automatically syncs with the server. So the minute you take the picture, it will upload it to the server. So even if they did take the phone, seize the phone, the picture is already stored on the server.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
It also works with videos as well. So as soon as you stop recording, it starts syncing with the server and uploads to the server.
Yeah, now I remember this conversation. I want that app.
Yeah, I've got.
I want my phone to record when it doesn't even look like it's recording on the front and back cameras at all time.
We've got a few apps set up on the server, and I've literally the past couple of years, me and Nick, we've been working on literally apps to specifically for you guys, right? That'll help you guys, do your work a little bit better. Stream, connect multiple IP cameras, broadcast live on multiple platforms other than YouTube, because YouTube is not so reliable these days.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I know you've got a Roku channel.
We did, but we don't have it no more. I wasn't getting a lot of content from the other folks, and so I just ended up shutting it down. We might start it up again at some future date. I'm not sure, but it was just me doing a lot of the work, and I'm already busy.
It is a bit time consuming, but this is why I try to set up like an automated system. We do have our own streaming servers where we can broadcast our own content directly onto your own website, and put it behind a paywall if you want, or restrict it, or geo block it, or whatever you want to do with it. It's a pretty really good server, actually. It's got some really good features on it. I could give you guys a little tour, give you access to the servers and the services that we got, and see if you like them.
Hold on for 1 second. It's 11:20 over here, James.
Hi, James.
AEC, do you want to get out your James Freeman beard? James is in the chat.
I showed him. I actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I showed him that he. I had him in orange and black, and we're trying to bring the beard of accountability. We're going to sell them. You can get the oranger Freeman beard, or you can get the blacker Auditing Erie County beard. So when you go file your paperwork, you can get treated with respect. You wear the beard out.
That's right. That's right. The beard of accountability, guys. Now, if you can imagine,
I want to do a shout out here. While we got John up here, I see John in a lot of the different auditors chats and things, and I want to thank him for what he does for the people that are in the chats by giving them memberships and that stuff. He's really done a lot out here, and he needs a shout out.
I'll throw in on that, John. Great dude. He's been around forever, and he is a great supporter. He knows as much as any of us know about this shit, and I think he's friend with everybody I know and admire. So,
Toe for Life said Freeman's a Fed.
Yeah.
So he's the best Fed ever.
It's the funniest bit ever.
Yeah, so somebody every once in a while somebody will come to me and be like, "Oh, that dude, that auditor, he's a cop or he's a Fed," and I'm like, dude, that's awesome. So you mean he goes to work all day and is a Fed and then takes his free time and audits? I love that guy.
We need more. We need more of them.
Rogue, wait a minute, Rogue. How many people have asked you if I'm a Fed?
Oh, I can't remember. It's the same thing with GT because GT was a corrections officer back in the day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, GT's he's a cop." I'm like, I don't care. He ain't gonna tell on me. I ain't doing nothing wrong. If he
Right, we post everything we do.
right, if he wants to be a cop during the day and audit at night or vice versa, whatever, I love that shit.
can't think of a better job for him.
We're the honest ones.
Right.
What do we mind? We're the honest ones.
One of the new guys has come on. He's out of Louisville, Indiana. It's generally specific, and he's past military, a wounded warrior. He was a paratrooper, and he's been accused of being a Fed also.
Yeah, we know generally specific.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, there's for public safety. This guy.
Oh no, not that guy. We don't want to talk to that guy.
He's trouble. He's trouble.
He is trouble, that guy.
Yeah. I went over to look at the chats a while ago. You got American Amy's jumped up on here, and or Accountability Angel, I guess it was, and the different ones. And if I can come up on panel, they can come up on panel. If Rogue will let me up here, anybody can get up.
And speaking of which, I need a spot for Toe for Life. Danny, you came up first. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I'll drop out.
Actually,
Yeah, I'll drop
Well,
out.
so I can drop out. I'm the new guy
I
here.
just wanted
Anyway.
to,
First
I
thing
just
first,
wanted
that.
to put this out
So,
there before
Erie County,
it's
love
11:30.
you all, man. I'll see you guys on the other side.
Yeah.
If you guys get a chance, you should check out the Underground Auditor's last video. He illegally, admittedly, he admitted he did it illegally. Recorded a court case down in West Virginia that he was the one where he was arrested by the state police. And the things you're going to see in that video, if that doesn't show you that the court system is the old boy network, nothing will. You have to look at the video. You have to.
In particular, there's a part in there.
You said Underground Auditor?
Yeah.
Underground Auditor, yeah.
All right, I'll definitely check that out.
All right. You folks stay safe, stay blessed, take care.
All right, Big John D in the house.
Take care.
Right.
Oh yeah, Toe for Life.
What up? What up?
Yeah.
What up, big
Freeman's
dog?
a Fed. Freeman's a Fed.
Everybody's a Fed. Hell, you know what? Give me an extra paycheck. You can call me whatever you want. You can call me Customs and Border Patrol. You can call me DEA. You can call me ATF. Just send that paycheck, baby.
Hell yeah.
Look, I don't know who's fooling who anyway, man. This is a great opportunity for us to educate a bunch of Feds. I'm sure they still got to do their jobs and all.
Absolutely.
But
not so cool in the
yeah,
house.
The Constitution applies to them the same way it applies to your local sheriff, right, or your municipality. The Constitution, the First Amendment, that applies to everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. You can be the president. If I see your ass out there picking your ass on the corner, I'm going to take a snapshot of that. You know what I mean? And that's just the right to free press, baby. It doesn't matter if you're Putin over here and you're over here scratching your nuts. I'm gonna take a picture of you. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're from Russia. I don't care if you're going to send the Russian mob after me. Here in America, it's free press. Sometimes reporters get scraped up over that stuff because they get in stuff that's hot and heavy. But um, and Six Oaks said he was a Fed for a minute. So there you go. He's one of the best Feds ever. That guy. Um, Yeah, for public safety said, yeah, they don't want any of us to be feds, dude, because we would go through and we would just be castrating cities, dude. You know what I mean?
It'd be too effective. Yeah.
Yeah, effective. Boy, they'd have to have emergency elections in every state in the nation. We'd be riding through, dog. They'd be like, God damn it, George is down there in Orlando, done wiped out the mayor, the city council, the county attorney,
Police departments, and
right? The tax collector's doing 40 years now. Yep. Yeah, they don't want our help. Not our kind of help. That's funny. What do you got there, Dan? What are you working on there? Is that the
You're muted.
real man of genius?
Yeah, I was just working on my camera angle. I moved it, but
Right on. Yeah, I was thinking, when you said to me about those beards of accountability, I was thinking to myself,
I got someone going to grab them right now. I got someone running down to grab my beards. We're gonna sell some tonight.
Dude, listen. What we need to do is we need to put together a video, a commercial for them, right? And it needs to have.
See them. I made them.
Dude, listen. It's got to have that jingle. Real men of genius, right?
like you're talking about those cards where you open them up and they play something, but just have a back one on the back of the beard, so when people are walking around, it's playing.
So
yeah.
I got a question for Erie.
What up?
When they pat you down for weapons, do they pat your beard down to make sure you ain't got weapons in there?
No, I had all sorts of shit in there, boy.
That's what I'm saying.
It affects the metal detectors. I could fit a whole shotgun in there. They doesn't even turn these things off.
Microphones and cameras and shit.
Yeah.
micro camera hanging in his beard, doing court cases.
Right. 3D printed micro camera.
The camera.
Right. So it's not metal, a 3D printed micro camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, again, Underground Auditor, what he was just talking about, it's got him in there deposing the cop, the judge favoring the cop clearly, and then they try to introduce some evidence, which he asked for. They never gave him. It's the prosecutor's like, we gave it to him. He's like, no, he has to argue for it. And they say, fine. Judge says, we're going to sequester it. Y'all look at it together and we'll determine, come to some determination, and we'll all go in another place. You guys be in another room. No, they got the door open to the room. They can hear everything that they're saying in the other room. And the judge then was talking about what they're saying and, conspiring. These are my words, what I'm saying? Look at these assholes. You see, this is what I mean. This is how they are. And he's got the undercover camera in there versus the room with the judge. So it is interesting.
I know a couple people that took some like pen cameras and stuff in their courtroom before.
Yeah,
I won't say their name because I don't want to get them in trouble. But
we've all got the pen cameras and stuff like that. As far as that goes, the only thing they could hit you with after the fact would be a contempt charge.
They'll try a trespass. They'll do a trespass too. That's what they did to Sean, right?
Well, yeah. Then they trespass you, so you can't come back unless you obviously.
They charged him with criminal trespassing after he left, and nobody asked him to leave.
Ooh.
Sean from Long Island for wearing the glasses.
No, I say woo.
You trespass in the mail.
I wish there were, and I didn't.
They sent cop across county lines. They didn't send it in the mail.
Yeah, and I didn't see the footage, so I don't know how good his footage is. But man, we need some really like micro cameras with like some good visibility and some good audio pickup, because a lot of the stuff like those pen cameras, they're crap. You know,
I
the
don't
video.
know, dude. I got this one off Amazon. Not that I'm pumping it, but this thing was $35. It takes some excellent video and audio.
Why don't you send that to me and I'll test it out?
I'm not kidding. I've really never tried this other one yet, but
Well, I know, yeah. I guess it's, but
this
there's
one
so
here,
many.
man, I would buy another one of these in a heartbeat. This one's slick brick, baby.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if I saw it, Danny's back here, guys. All right. If I saw it and it would look good, then I would, I would buy it. But the problem is I bought one of those things before and it was crap. But there's like 55,000 of them out there. So which one do you buy? You don't want to
Yeah,
spend
like
$500 on a pen that they say, oh yeah, this is the best pen ever. And you get it and it's crappy. The $20 one works better. I don't want to do that crap.
There's
Yeah.
a damn spy shop around me, dude. Straight up, no bullshit.
Yeah, no, they have those. Yeah, they have those all over.
Yeah, all they have is like spy gear, dude. Like them kind of cameras and little micro cameras and them sound things with that amplify the sound from so far away and all that shit.
yeah.
I got a new
went in there
phone.
walking around, but I ain't got the kind of money for all that.
Yeah, I had to get a new phone, and I was really surprised. I didn't have all my gear with me to video the last town council meeting I did, and the phone picked up audio a lot better than I had with my old phone and a boom mic. And this is a Samsung 24 Ultra, and the video is really good on it, and the pickup on the audio is really good. So, I need to jump in there and tell that, because this is one of those things that you could start up, set in your pocket, and nobody know you're videoing, because you're not out there showing it, but the top of the phone sticks out of your pocket.
Yeah, but then you get those videos where there's black on both sides. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants it in landscape mode.
Oh yeah.
So
It's,
all that'll do is get you yelled at by your subs.
so did you see? I mean, it's been a long time since you went live there, Rogue. But did you see how you got to do the landscape mode now when you go live on YouTube? Right?
No,
Well, I haven't seen.
You had to go. You had to go in your advanced settings. So while you're setting it up, you got to go into your advanced settings and go. And it says horizontal or vertical, and you have to go horizontal. If you don't click on the horizontal, it'll stick you in vertical. That's why you've been seeing a lot of these
That's
guys
how
going
much so
live.
many people have been doing vertical.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's funny because I just laugh because I'm just like, yeah, you didn't hit the vertical. The
Vertical is the
horizontal.
default now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to go in advanced settings and set it, and you got to do it every time. It don't automatically stay.
That's
Oh,
one
hell
thing
no.
I found out with this phone. I had to go in and look at a lot of settings that I never had to with the old phone, because it's got different. It had one camera, now it's got 3 cameras. It does 100 times instead of 10 times your visibility. So it's crazy what all it can do, and it's no bigger than the phone I had before.
Yeah, true that, man.
Man, you're high as hell, dude. Look at you.
No,
You're rocking back and forth and shit, and just smiling.
Joe must have come off of North Wooders. I can't remember what it is. They had one for Four Corners today, and I'll tell you what, I had to get off that. I can only put up with so much argument over there.
Northwoods. He was
Northwoods.
Northwoods, right?
Yeah. I was over there and listened to that for a while. And then when it got into just the 2 arguing back and forth, I got out of it.
I didn't see that part anyway.
yeah, I don't take much to argue in. I like panels where we can, discuss stuff, come up with ideals. I always want to spend my time learning and not just burning time. Just being silly or stupid.
I might be guilty of burning a bit. I prefer philosophy, and I don't know how useful that shit is.
Well,
I
hell,
could be definitely accused of burning time.
hey, you can't say enough about the guys back in the day that sat around and
I admire them, right?
just ask, what is life really about? It's it's moments when we think deep that I think affect our lives the most. It's
If
not
you if you
moments
think
when
about it, if you don't know them days when Socrates, back then philosophy meant something, and they were celebrities just by their arguments, and they would do them in public. They'd sit down, and the rich would, because there were no microphones and shit, would have the closer seats and all of that shit, and it would go back. It was like an event. It was a big deal to hear, the two philosophers go back and forth, and that's what.
Yeah, but they had an argument, but they didn't argue. They weren't
Exactly.
hollering and screaming at each other. They had
Yes.
their point of view that they were trying to convince another person with. Yeah, love
All
it,
right,
Dan.
guys, we call this one the Freeman.
That's better than I thought it would be, bro.
Listen, guys, we call this one the
I was
Freeman.
expecting some junk. I ain't gonna bullshit you.
No, we call this one the Freeman. Let me give it to you guys. Yes, I want you to go do your work. Do you understand me, son? What do you guys think? That was pretty intimidating. Make a bad cop go back to work, right?
Well, there you go. And it's all about the beard. You couldn't do it with your own.
Holy hell.
Yeah, you had to have that beard to do that.
No, listen, guys, I'm fabbing these things up. Everybody needs a beard of accountability. I got the official pattern right here to trace them.
listen, even women can wear these, right? Even women can wear these. They're so
How
they're so
long do you want that accountability is the question. You know what I mean? Like, you got to call your tailor.
they're so powerful. They're so powerful that even women can wear them and get accountability.
That's right.
Now that's a long
Do you
one.
know who I am? Do you know who I am?
That's Auditor County there.
It comes with free fur for your mouth.
Damn, what's up, baby?
So
No charge, right? For extra hair in your mouth.
No, that's how you know it's us. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I got to deal with all day long to have this type of accountability.
Yeah. I got my little short white beard going on right now. But that's about it.
We'll get you a Freeman, or you want a Freeman or Auditor Erie County? Which one?
Beard, baby.
Which accountability do you like?
Are
better?
you sending me one, are you? Is that what you're saying? You're gonna send me one so I can wear it? Add to what I have? I like that one.
That sort of looks like Elmo.
You had to get one that's got a bunch of gray hair in it, so that it goes with what I got on top.
No, you got to do the dye yourself. You gotta make it your own.
But here, I'll show you here real quick. See?
Yeah, I'm gonna put racing stripes on mine. Mine's gonna have racing stripes on it. Maybe a little fire down at the bottom, like I lit a cigar or something and caught a fire.
Danny's rocking the Colonel.
This is the Freeman.
That's the beginning of my Santa Claus. I just got started late. I didn't get. I normally start that like in right around August or so, and I didn't start it till right around Christmas this year. So,
Dan, it looked like the Freeman was giving you a hard time there.
Yeah.
You gotta get used to it, guys.
I think
it doesn't just happen overnight. This kind of stuff, this accountability, you got to get used to it. You know, I mean, there's a learning curve.
That's
hey,
right.
now you got to get some beard glue to send along with them.
Send that out to
You don't just walk in and be Dan Freeman, guys.
Agreed.
Joe Coogan Freeman with that on. I mean, everybody.
I ain't gonna bullshit you.
Can you imagine about the auditors? We do a I Am Erie County Day and have all the auditors all across the country wear Dan Erie County beard.
Yo, better yet, I'm doing a parody with a real auditing Erie County. Please stand up.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. The Erie County Auditing Day, and then the FBI will be getting hits. Dan's everywhere. He's been spotted in Memphis, Tulsa, Houston.
No, so it wasn't attractive before.
That's kind of like the Jeff Gray thing. Jeff Gray can't be everywhere as they're doing the God Bless the Homeless Vets. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm actually I talked with Jeff and I've gotten the okay from him, but I'm gonna start my sign uh, series as well, and mine is gonna say "God bless the homeless pets." And
You'll fit
He's
right in with
good,
those
right?
SPCA
yeah,
trees.
he's giving me his blessing. So yeah, it's gonna be "God bless the homeless pets," and I'm gonna be out there advocating for the cats and dogs that are sleeping on the streets, have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen in my comments when you were talking about cleaning up all the different cities and stuff, and you were saying Georgia's going to be here and there. I put on there Georgia's hiring the homeless to take over the public offices.
Absolutely, man. You know, if I had enough cameras, I would stop at Home Depot and get some day laborers, you know, slap them $30 and tell them, hey, sit here and record this for 20 minutes, you know, half hour, whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, get some guys on every corner. We had a plan. We never put it into action, but we were going to like flash mob audit a city one time. We were going to have, you know, 10 auditors, and then one guy was going to, you know, roll around and drop us all off, and we were all going to go into a building at a set time and do audits, so that way, you know, the 911 call center would like pull up.
Yeah,
So was
sounds
it?
like good.
So was it a audit mob or was it a flash mob? Because the flash mob is when you flash people, right?
No, flash mob just means that a whole bunch of people at the same time do something, you know, usually at a given time or whatever.
I was gonna say
They
most of the
they do
auditors
those
out here. Most of the
yeah, they
auditors
do
out here,
those
I don't want to
dances
see
in malls
flash.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to
Joe
Toe's
Cool,
flash mob.
I want to be Joe
Yeah,
Cool's
right?
flash mob.
Well, if you do a flash mob in that, you need to go to a city and have a group of auditors go into every building at the same time. So
Yeah,
going
that's
to the
what I
post
said.
office, going to the city hall, going to the jail, going to the clerk's office, going, you know, and that way when they do start calling, they only got so many cops. They had to
Well,
get
right.
the county, the state, and everybody else involved just to get everybody there.
Yeah. Yep, that was the ideal.
Yeah.
Hey, what do
Yeah,
you
go.
guys think, man? Should you be able to say, call in, I'm being arrested, call in? That can be a charge sometime. I think it's misuse or some shit.
Well, what if the auditors would call in as they know that the other people are calling in and they're the ones disturbing your peace and doing all that stuff. So you call in and get your charge on them place for the police to come for you before they get them to come on you.
Well, I think an appropriate way to do that is with the public records. Like, and again, I'm only speaking for my state, but in my state, when it's a knowing and willful violation that they refuse your public record request, that's a misdemeanor. So I've already instituted and started calling the police on a couple of business. You know, I don't want to say businesses because they're not businesses, but I called it on a probation office. I actually called the police and made a report against the public defender's office because they refused to take my record request at the public defender's office. So I like that concept of you know, Cobra Kai, strike first, strike hard, no mercy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely down with that approach, and plus it creates a record, right? So after 2 or 3 times of me calling, and these guys aren't producing records, like at this probation office in Daytona, which I need to go back to anyway, it creates a record of them not fulfilling these record requests, right? So at some point they're going to have to address this, right? They're going to have to. And that's the hope, at least, you know. Of course, as we know, a lot of times you hope in one hand, poop in the other, and you know.
Auditor has been doing that too. He always
pastor.
telling the police that they failed to do the same thing, and he wants to press charges on them. You should probably write with him and see if it's been effective at all.
Well, audit them. You know, if we could all have all that knowledge on these FOIA requests that he has in his head, man. If he would go through and actually follow up on what he's doing with lawsuits, which I don't know if he is or not, because it's tough to keep up with what he's doing. And he never tells that he's filing a lawsuit, but he he lets them know that this is a misdemeanor. Da 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 da. You don't have this. You don't have this. I'm going to go to the attorney general on it. Da da da. I've
Right.
got my report I turned in. I'd like to see some results off those reports.
I'm guessing he does everything he said. He's damn near autistic in that fucking way. He's just like,
Yeah,
he's so focused, bro.
yeah. He really is, but it would a lot of auditors, like Rogue was saying earlier, will threaten a lawsuit, and you never hear anything about it. Now we're starting to see some of the auditors, they're getting thrown in jail, but what happened with their lawsuits? At least Rogue's out here telling us what's going on with his cases. But
Yeah,
there's so
Rogue was
many guys.
following through.
Yeah, there's so many guys out here, they threaten it, and you never hear nothing about it.
Takes a lot of resources, to be fair.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. And there's so much that you can't tell about your court case, because otherwise you give away your strategy to the prosecutor. And
Well, well, when you're hyper focused on a certain law, and I'm going to say this real quick, guys, and we're going to end it here in just a little bit because we're already on 2 hours. But when you're hyper focused and you're replaying the same situations daily, like we do as auditors, it actually becomes easier to do the lawsuits, right? Because you can take your old complaints, change a couple of the facts, change the names of the defendant, and you're pretty much there, right? Because all the case law is going to apply from one case to the next. It's not like if you're a lawyer and one day you're handling like a discrimination lawsuit, and then the next day you're handling like a labor dispute or whatever else. Now you got to look for all different case law. You got to write a different brief, different
Right.
motions. So, I mean, once you get a couple of lawsuits under your belt, it starts to become easier because, again, we're cookie cutter pretty much in this, right? If they throw you out of the building, First Amendment violation. If they try to ID you, it's a Fourth Amendment violation. And go from there. If they use excessive force, obviously there's a little bit more to it. And that sort of thing. But a lot of these cases, and I plan this to streamline even my style. Like I told Bryce Crispy, that what I would like to do is I would like to go into the building. As soon as they tell me to leave, I just get them on camera asking me why they want me to leave. Why do you want me to leave? Because I'm recording? Okay. I carry with me notice of intents to sue. I fill it out right there, hand it to the person. I wait for them to call the cops, right? Obviously. Wait for them to call the cops. I give them their notice to sue. I then walk outside of the building on the public property, like the sidewalk or something. So that way, when the cops roll up, they can't say that I'm trespassing and get me automatically for trespassing, right? Because we want to make this as safe as possible,
As
right?
solid as possible, yeah.
Right. And so when the cops show up, I just tell them straight up, look, all I'm doing is practicing my rights in here. This is the deal. You can either go in and tell him, hey, he has a right to be in here and you can allow me back in, or you can come out here and tell me that they want me trespassing. I'm not allowed in the building. And if that's the case, I have notice of intent to sue for you as well, officer. And just cut through all the bullshit. I know a lot of people like the back and forth and the argument and stuff like that. But again, I'm trying to make change here, right? I'm not trying to make, I'm not Robert De Niro up here. I'm not Adam Sandler. I mean, like I said, I appreciate that people find my videos to be entertaining, but I'm not a freaking entertainer, right? It just so happens I'm handsome and I'm pretty witty, so that plays good for me. But my basic premise is out here to create change, and I'm just I want to cut through all the bullshit. I want to cut through all the risk of me doing it, and just slap them with it. Hey, you don't want me in your building and in our building, whatever, fine. Here's your notice of intent to sue. I'll wait outside for the cops. When the cops come, I'll give them an ultimatum. Either protect my rights or violate my rights. That's the only two options here today. You can go in there and say, I've got a right to be in here, and then you could allow me to come back into the building. Or you could tell me that they want me trespassed and I'm not allowed to come back on the property, in which case you will also be included in the lawsuit. It's just that simple.
What
fill
you
out.
got to do? What you got to do is you got to have a briefcase ready, so you're carrying a briefcase full of these papers. Every time the next one, oh,
There you
okay,
go,
you
sir.
slap the briefcase on a thing, click, got one for you too. You know, you
Yeah.
close it, and the next
Right, well,
person comes
yeah,
along. It's like, oh, you pull the briefcase out and click. Yeah,
yeah. Well, no, you got a clipboard like Audit them carries. You know, you just
Yeah.
carry a clipboard with you. With I'd say 5 to 10, and then keep a stack in the car with you. You could reload between spots. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well,
straight up. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Why play games with these people, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me anymore. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's the same thing over and over. When you find these idiots, it's just you know what I mean. You're not gonna convince them. You're not gonna get through to
I
them,
dig
right?
it. I love the idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I find with a lot of auditors is, you're talking about our building, and they'll start out with that, and then they'll get thrown back at them that, it's a police officer saying it's their building, and then they turn around and say, well, that's okay, I won't touch your car. Well, you're telling me not to touch our car? That's the way it should be, and it should stay that way. That we have the possession, they don't. They have a duty to take care of our vehicles, our buildings, and that's what they're there for.
I
And
think you're right.
a lot of these auditors, they get on the right start out, and then they backpedal because it's being thrown at them, and they're not
The
hard
heat'll be
yet, I
hot.
guess,
Sit your
enough.
bitch ass down.
Yeah, you're not hard. They're not hardened enough to say this is my building. When I go in and do the town council building over here, I walk back out and say, man, you need to have somebody come in and clean the bathroom. This is our building. I'm telling you, you
Yeah.
need to get somebody in here.
All right.
Oh well,
If I see
that's
something.
yeah, that's never a problem for me. I wear my boss hat, so they know exactly who they're talking to. So they
Hey, that's something you can put on the beard, Dan. You can put on, but I'm the boss on the beard.
there you go. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I know my
Yeah,
Let me
thanks
get
for
out of
opening
here.
up that
Spring
panel
clean.
Peace
for us
out.
there, Rogue.
Cut the
Hey,
mustache off.
Dennis,
hey,
we
happy
going
Ear-
over
Easter to
at
everybody
Jesse's.
too. Don't forget,
Dennis,
Jesus had a beard too. He's the
we was over at Jesse's, Dennis.
Jesse's.
Missing
nice.
link.
Yeah,
All
happy Easter, everybody.
Yeah, everybody take a moment to say goodbye or say what's up or shout out, and then we'll get out of here.
Yep. See you all later.
Peace out.
Later, Danny.
Toodles, bitches.
Dens and Toes.
See
Dan
y'all.
Freeman. Last but not least, Beard of Accountability.
Hey, don't expect me to jump out. I'm closing this show with you.
I love it, dude. I love it. James, you see your twins up here, James.
The Freemans,
All right.
man. We're gonna see which one sells more, the Freeman or the AEC. The
I like
Erie
it,
beard.
dude. Yeah, no, dude, it's a good concept. Beards of Accountability. All right, guys, everybody in chat, thanks for coming. We love you. Much love to everybody. We'll catch you guys here again soon, I'm sure. Dan, thanks for being here.
Yes, sir.